Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Tanzel Jones, and I want to welcome you to my channel, Taylor Made Tea, where I remind you of how special you are and motivate you to create the life that you want for yourself. So, my friends call me T for short, and since you're watching this right now, that means that we're friends now as well. Today, I'm going to talk about my diet, the ketogenic diet. And if you haven't seen that other video yet, I posted another video talking about what the best diet was for people that were obese, and I named the ketogenic diet as that diet that's best for people who are obese. All right, hold on a second. Let me plug in my microphone. All right.
We're live here, but okay. So that being said, I just want to talk a little bit about the ketogenic diet and back up a little bit more and talk more in depth about why I feel the ketogenic diet is the best for weight loss for people who, especially for people who are obese. And I talked about in the last video that I made a couple days ago is that hunger control is the biggest thing, biggest benefit to the ketogenic diet. There's a lot of controversy with this diet as far as how healthy is it for you. There isn't any long-term research on people doing it. But there's a lot of discussion of the benefits of it too. I don't want to get too much into science, into the benefits, the long-term health benefits of it, or negative consequences of the ketogenic diet. But I do want to talk about my own experience with the ketogenic diet. And first, I want to give you a little backup experience about what kind of diets I've tried in the past and how they've worked out for me. So I've tried a lot of diets in the past: high protein, low carb, low fat. But the diets that I've been seeing the most results with have been the lower carb diets. Whenever I try to control my carb intake, I've noticed that I've lost weight, and so primarily I've tried other like higher carb diets where only eating fruits and vegetables, and the vegan diet, I tried that out for a little bit, vegetarian diet, the high protein diet. The high protein diet was another one that I saw a lot of significant weight loss progress on in the past. But I felt like the fats were kept really low. So I was eating a lot of chicken breast, a lot of lean meats, which I've always known to be healthier cuts of meat. And the fat was kept low and your carbs were kept moderate. And I have seen results eating that way too. But it's nothing I could actually sustain. When I was eating those diets, even though I was getting a lot of food, I still didn't feel satisfied with my diet. I always felt, even when I was doing like the lower fat diets, I always felt like I was a little bit more satiated if I upped my fats. So how I got introduced to the ketogenic diet, like I've known about it for about 3 or 4 years now. I just because the big thing with the ketogenic diet is you have to give up sugar, which I think I could do. And I have done now because I'm doing it. But at the time, I didn't think I could do. And you have to give up grains. And I really do love rice and pasta and, potatoes. So that was something I didn't think I could give up. Sugar, cereal, crackers, just things, this carbs, like bread and all that things. It's something I didn't think I'd give up. So I never really all the way went to it. But I did go lower carb, where I just lowered the amount of breads, rice, potatoes, and things that I ate. And I did see significant results with that. So how I got to the ketogenic diet, I was just lowering, I was in a weight loss challenge. This ended a couple months ago. And I was just, throughout the whole process, my whole goal was, throughout the whole 12 weeks, was to slowly start to taper down my carbs as the weeks went along. And so as the weeks went along, I started out with probably like 100 carbs. It was about 100 grams of carbs for the day. So that's 400 calories of my diet coming from carbs. And, I was seeing weight loss and everything. And so I wanted it to keep going. So I just slowly started. I stopped it, after like 3 or 4 weeks, I dropped it down to like 75 or 60. But at the same time, when I dropped my carbs, I upped my fat. And I noticed that I was still losing weight and getting leaner. And so I knew about the ketogenic diet, and I just kind of talked about it with a couple people, and I decided, I think I could do this, because I was already down to, I think it was down to 1 serving of carbs a day. So 1 serving of rice, 1 serving of potatoes, and then I was eating vegetables and a couple of fruits at that time. So I got down to about 50 carbs a day. And this was about 3 months ago. And so I decided that I was going to give keto diet a try because I thought I could do it. And so I cut my grains and my carbs and completely out, increase my vegetables and increase that the carbs that I took out. I just increased my fats. My protein, I kind of dropped it a little bit because the ketogenic diet is a moderate protein diet and not a high protein diet. So I did drop my protein was about, I didn't want to get any more than, 100, 125 grams of protein a day. That's where I was sitting. So I was getting 120, 125 grams of protein. I was getting about, at the end, I was getting about 50, 60 grams of carbs. And I was getting about, I think it was up to like 70, 80 grams of fat. So it was about 1,500 calories a day at that point. So when I started keto, I, cut my carbs down to maybe like 20 a day. My fats went up to like 130 grams a day, and my protein stayed about 100. So I was eating about 1,400 calories a day at the end, towards the last 8 weeks of that challenge, the last 6 or 7 weeks of that challenge. So, and I saw that, my hunger decreased. The first couple of weeks were hard because your body has to get used to not having that sugar. So I was craving sugar really bad in the first, probably the first week and a half, 2 weeks or so. I still had those cravings for sugar. I still had the cravings for bread and carbs and all those other things. But after a couple of weeks, the carb cravings went away, the sugar cravings went away, and I felt fine. I had a lot more energy to get up and do things. Like I wasn't, after I eat, I used to get really sleepy or kind of tired when I was eating, carbs. And now when I eat, I don't get that same effect. I feel like when I eat, I can just get up and go, and like there's no dip in my level of energy. And I feel just more energized and to be more active. And so, and after the competition, I had lost over 100 pounds in 12 weeks. And so I decided that I was going to stick with this diet. After the competition, I did go back to eating carbs for a couple of days, just to kind of relax. I wasn't really set on the ketogenic diet at that point, but I knew that I was going to take a couple of days or, a week to kind of just relax. I had been dieting very, really, really hard for 3 months. I mean, exercising a lot. And I just wanted to give my body a time to rest and my mind a chance to, just breathe and relax. So I did that for about a week or two. I introduced carbs back into my diet. And I did, gain a little bit of the weight back that I had lost during the competition. But, as soon as I got back on the diet after 2 weeks, that initial weight gain I got for that first 2 weeks after the competition came right back off. And I do have to thank the ketogenic diet for that because it came off really, really quick after I got back on the diet. And so now I'm 3 months in on this ketogenic diet. And I can tell you that I don't have any type of craving for sugar and carbs. And for me, that was the biggest downfall of why I can't lose weight in the past, why I couldn't maintain it, because I always had those cravings for breads and cookies and potato chips. Like I always had the craving for sugar. And now I don't have that craving for sugar. It was just crazy. I was just over at my cousin's, my soon-to-be cousin-in-law's house, just a little bit ago, and she had baked a whole, like 3 dozen cookies. Normally I would be like, oh man, let me get a couple of those, eat about 4 or 5 and just scarf them down and and they would just disappear. Like I would eat, I couldn't get enough when it comes to cookies and sugars and stuff. And so like my stepson, he was offering me cookies. Like, hey, do you want a cookie? I was like, no. And like, I didn't even have an urge to eat cookies or to eat, and ice cream and stuff I used to love. I just don't, I think I reminisce. I know how good that stuff is. Don't get me wrong. I do remember how good that stuff is, but I don't crave it like I used to. I mean, my cravings have gone down to zero. And for me, that's why I think the ketogenic diet is the best diet for someone who's trying to lose weight, especially if you're obese. And like I explained, if you're obese, you have a problem putting food in your mouth for whatever reason. Maybe it's emotional. Maybe, you have some trauma that you're dealing with, or maybe you just grew up with me. I grew up in a household with every event, there was something to eat. Somebody graduated from high school, we get something to eat. Somebody gets A in a report card, you get something to eat. Every event around our family was surrounded around food. And that's something that I've, definitely had to break, go to family functions, but just now I prepare myself for those types of things. If I know that, especially if I know there's going to be a family function, like tomorrow, it's my soon-to-be brother-in-law's birthday. He's a July 4th baby, and it's my soon-to-be cousin-in-law. Their anniversary is on the same day, and they're going to have a huge barbecue and party out at their house. And I know that there's going to be temptation. I know there's going to be foods that I don't need to eat. So, I mean, I don't have the temptation anymore for that to eat, but I do want something to eat for myself. So, you know, the ketogenic diet is nice because they're going to have brats, they're going to have hot dogs, they're going to have hamburgers, and they're going to have chicken wings and chicken legs and stuff like that. And with the ketogenic diet, you can eat stuff like that. Now, I won't be able to eat the bread with the burger, the bread with the hot dogs and stuff, but I've gotten used to that, and that's fine. I can have coleslaw. You know, I'm going to be bringing my own coleslaw. I bring in pork rinds on the ketogenic diet. I can have that. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, you know, I don't have those sweet cravings. And if there is a situation where I do have to go out and I do have to be social with other people, then I just prepare myself and bring foods that I know that I can eat. So I just want to make that quick video, just talking about the ketogenic diet a little bit more. There's probably going to be a part 2 and because I feel I have about this diet and a lot that I've experienced and a lot that I've learned over the last 3 months. Before I started this diet, I did a lot of research and read everything I could about the diet, and I'm still reading a lot about this diet and learning more every single day. So I just want to make that quick video. It's July 3rd. Tomorrow's 4th of July. So happy 4th if you don't watch my video tomorrow. And I will see you guys in the next video. This has been TaylorMade Tea. Got to do my outro, TaylorMade Tea. And I want to remind you that you're special the way you are right now, and you have the ability to create the life for yourself that you want. All right. So thank you for watching again, and I'll see you guys in my day 25 video. Peace.